Welcome to the brand new episode of We Talk Talent series brought to you by ETHRWorld and Indeed. In today's conversation, I have with me Amita Maheshwari, Head of HR for DMED, APAC and India, the Walt Disney Company. Amita joined Star India in 2009 as part of the core management team of Star to head HR function. She is currently leading a global team across 27 countries in her stint with Star and now Disney Star. She has helped build the world-renowned and successful digital streaming business, Hotstar, making Star the first media conglomerate to launch a big-scale OTT service. Amita, with her HR team, has been integral in setting up teams to rapidly launch and scale Disney Plus in Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, and Japan, and Disney Plus Hotstar in India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia in the past 2 years. In her 27 years of career journey, apart from Star and Disney, Amita has worked with diverse and large companies like Asian Paints, GE Capital, Genpact, MetLife, and has played a key role in growing and shaping these organizations across multiple countries. She serves as a member of the HR committee at the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce. Amita was awarded the HR Leader of the Year 2021 by Economic Times ET Prime Women Leadership Awards. She was also awarded the Most Influential Woman in HR 2022 by BW Business World. We are so glad to have you with us today, Amita. Welcome.
Thank you, Apeksha, and thank you, ETHRWorld, for this opportunity. Look forward to the discussion.
Sure, Amita. So we straight away jump to the Q&A, the conversation part of it. And to the audience out there, they all know the Indian media entertainment industry is a sunrise sector, like we call it. And it has been a large part, a contributor to the GDP of the economy and is making significant strides. So if we would like you to share with us a brief overview of the disruptions and transformation in your industry at this moment, obviously comparing into the post and pre-pandemic times and all, and how it is evolving around these days.
And as you're saying, not just a sunrise industry, but we are part of everybody's life. I don't think anybody who is not touched by media and entertainment, everybody. And we are very happy that we bring hope. We bring some kind of a relaxation. We bring happy moments to our consumer. Okay. And to all the people in this world. So I'm very proud to be part of an industry which brings hope, which brings enjoyment, which brings fun to people. And especially in the COVID time, it became an extremely important part of our life. Okay, we couldn't go out for a movie or for a sport, and the only thing which we had was our television channels and our OTT platforms. And I'm very happy that we as a company were able to be there and through the COVID deliver to what our consumers really expected. And when you talk about disruption and transformation, like any industry and our own country is going through that. So M&E can't be left behind. It's always been on the forefront of technology. And I think like our nation and the world is going from analog to digital, we are also going there. So from linear channels, a lot of it is moving to OTT and especially because our country is young. So two things happening when I see, country is young, so adaptation to digital is much more easier, and the government is pushing it like anything. Direct transfer of money, all the policy measures, COVID-19, the startup ecosystem, all of that is really transforming this country, and it's also helping the industry and the organizations too. COVID has also, in a way, helped. It has really, in my view, has pushed the whole digitization and transformation, I would say 10 years ahead in future. Because everything which was happening, I think most of the people started doing online payment because you couldn't go to the bank and take out money, or started buying everything online. The kids, all of them moved to online education. Who would have ever imagined before the COVID that there would be time for my kids, their 10th, my son's 10th board and my daughter's 12th, the last 1 year was completely online. Who would have ever thought that everything will just move? So I think that's the biggest, the whole digital transformation is the biggest transformation. But there are also some very unique thing which is happening with the industry. So especially for our linear channels, which is the television channels, the linear broadcasting sector, there's a huge amount of regulatory challenge which we are going through. Okay, though this sector is almost 3 decades old, but I personally feel that we've still not achieved its full potential because of licensing and regulatory conditions. Okay, it's a sector which is like any other business, where you have to produce content, you have to spend money, and then you sell that and you provide that content to consumer and earn money from there. But government treats it as it's not essential services or product, but government actually treats it as essential services. So, and if you see with the competition which is there, the content prices are shooting through the roof. But what our company or what our business can get from consumer, the prices for TV channels are fixed by the government. So that's a really big dichotomy, because you at one side the business is really pushed to pay because the demand for content by all the TV channels, all the OTT businesses, even if they're not OTT, whether it's Facebook, with all the digital companies are also buying a lot of content. So content is becoming extremely expensive, but what you can get from the consumer is being governed by the government. So that's a big constraint for the organization, for this industry. If you look at, there are almost 900 TV channels. There are like thousands and thousands of distributors, MSOs, and five DTH operators. So it's a very, very highly competitive market. And I think the government is still not, the regulator is still not moved away from letting it little be free, but it's still micromanaging a lot. And that's why the sector is really having a tough time. And I think this industry and all of us, all the companies have to work very closely with TRAI to resolve this whole tariff fixation, to all other ongoing issues. So unsackle this industry so that it just kind of, takes the leap which it can take. Right now, I would say it's very restrictive. Okay, so that's the one challenge. Second challenge in terms of how the linear businesses is going through. The third is the whole OTT. And as the 20 years back, the TV channels and linear broadcasting business took off. Now it's the OTT industry which is on an upscale in the last 6 to 7 years. We have almost, I believe, more than 40 OTT players. Okay, but and everybody is trying different business models and trying to stay relevant and survive. And our consumers are really, really pampered with very differentiated content at very affordable rate because if you see, India has the cheapest data cost across the globe. Okay, and that has really helped us to especially the OTT players, and for us, Hotstar. Okay, and in that, if we look at what's happening, is that still in the minds of regulators and government, it gets compared with the television channels, and a lot of those regulations and a lot of those restrictions are also being applied to the Hotstar business or to the OTT business. So I think that again, we need to really, the policymakers have to really look at this segment as a different segment. It's a technology segment. It's a digital business. It's like what Facebook or Google or anybody in Amazon is. And I think we need to start looking at this industry very, very differently than how we were looking at television channel. And we can't, again, here, the cost of content is big. But in this, apart from cost of content, cost of technology also comes in. So I think, it's really, really there again, the regulations and regulatory, environment has to change. Okay. And the way I look at this, at least our country, unlike what I'm seeing in Asia Pacific or in US, where actually television channels are a sunset industry. Okay. But in India, it's still growing. And I think that, we both will survive and both will thrive, whether it's television channels, whether it's OTT. And consumers will use, will use it both together, and every household will have both. So that's the way I'm looking at least for the next 5, 10, 15 years. I don't know when it will change, but the good thing is TV is really, really growing, and we only hope that policymakers should really ease out the whole regulatory burden on this, especially on the young evolving OTT sector, but at the same time in the old existing television. So I think these are the multiple ways there is transformation, disruption happening in the industry.
Thank you, Amita, for that. So you touched upon the various subsectors of the industry, the traditional ones like TV and all, and newer ones which is OTT. So they do require the kind of workforce, with the kind of organization you're representing, which has a global presence, and you also need to strengthen the regional focus as well. So with that, what's your take on the gig economy part of it, and how do you think it is going to happen in India? How do you think it is evolving in India, considering the kind of organization structure we are used to operate in? Do you think the country will be able to capitalize on the gig economy?
See, I'm extremely excited about this gig economy. Okay, and I think it is just taking off. And we still don't have all the answers. We don't have the regulatory landscape to support this economy. Our labor laws are still very old, archaic, and it does not support this workforce. Okay, there are lots of facilities. There's a lot of benefits which these people cannot get. But for an organization, it's really, really advantageous to look at this, because I personally think that the normal full-time employee and the gig employee will both work together, and there would be a time when a substantial portion of, and right now it would be like less than few percent, but the substantial portion of our workforce will be also gig economy. There are multiple ways which I see how it's going to help. It will really help bridge the existing talent and capacity gap. Okay, it will help us extend to really large, bigger talent pool. Okay, it will give us more flexibility to manage our workforce, lesser dependency and liability. Because when I have a big project, I can hire some people for a few months, few days, few hours, and when the project is done, these people go. So you're not really dependent on how to hire, exit, all of that. It's much more easier. It will be much more less expensive than having a full-time employee. But what it also does for the employee base, and especially after COVID, a lot of people have realized that they don't want to work like 12 hours, 14 hours. They don't want to do full-time work. The best scenario will be that if I can just work 3 days a week, and especially for women workforce, it will bring all the women, I think, who left the job because of family responsibility or parenting. I think it will attract all these people back to work. Okay, it will give flexibility. You can design the way hours you want to work. So I think for employees also, it will be really, really great. And we need to really make it work. Also, people who are retired, they can pick a few hours work, so then their work life expands. So it's an exciting, space, but it is still a space where people are still figuring out. Some companies, through the team leads or through the third party workforce, all the companies have already been working with. But I don't call that as a gig economy, because that's like having a full-time employee, not on your payroll, but a vendor payroll. But it's really about, and see, for us, interestingly, media and entertainment industry has been using gig workforce a lot, especially on the creative side, because a lot of creative people have always been very, very clear about that they don't want to work in a very corporate environment, in a very, 8 to morning, 9 to 6 kind of a work hours. They want to be more free for creation, innovation. So we have always had people who have just come in for projects and worked for few months, or we have had people who just worked half a day, or people have just worked from home, taken a project. So I think, for us, for our industry, we are very comfortable with all these scopes. But I think, we need to have the infrastructure and framework in place for this economy. We need to figure out how will the benefits work, what kind of entitlements they have. How will, if someone is working on gig economy and a woman becomes, wants to have a baby, how will the company support? How will the government protect the labor laws of our country, protect gig economy workforce? Because that's going to also be very, very important. And I think, we need to really, so I'm very excited about this space, but, and we, I really encourage my team to go and look for this kind of people. I mean, I personally hired people, even in HR sometime, for doing some critical project, come in, work for 3 months, 4 months, help me ride with this project pressure and go back and do whatever you wanted to do. But all of us have to really look at, and our laws and government and has to kind of support this workforce, because right now there are a lot of legal challenges, and companies shy away from taking those risks. I think unless we kind of set up those frameworks for people where they're taken care of, where they have PF, where they have pension, where they have sick leave, they have all kinds of benefits, in holidays and parental support, insurance, all of that. I think we need to figure out how to do it. So can I go to an insurance company and say, oh no, this person is only going to work 3 days a week, and that's the way I want to create my benefit program, and how will the whole PF thing work? So there are challenges, but it's an exciting opportunity. It will open up the talent. There's such scarcity of talent. Everybody is fighting for the same set of talent. It will just open up the talent pool like anything. And we will have so many people available who would come into the workforce. And that's why I think we need to really push for this and get this going. That's my view on the gig economy, and it's very exciting.
Indeed, it is a very exciting space, but there's a lot of complexities, and the solely has to be a way to overcome these challenges so that we have the access to the larger talent pool. So Amita, you did talk about a little around the hiring structures, how it is a mix of full-time and gig employees and all, and with your kinds of setup with the creative people, there are a lot of diverse work profiles and portfolios which you manage at your organization. How do you look at the TA space at this moment? What are some of the key challenges in the talent acquisition space at this time, and how are you looking to overcome those?
Yeah. See, like all companies, I think the toughest challenge right now is getting the right talent for any organization. The market is extremely competitive. People have multiple offers. The offer drop percentages are like shooting through the roof. I've never seen something like that, where people are shopping around with multiple offers. So it becomes extremely important to have your, that what is it that you're going to offer? How are we going to attract our talent? How are we going to retain? What's the organizational, what's my employer brand? And all of that is going to be very important. So I think the TA team has the biggest challenge right now, that how do they relate to the audience in their marketplace, and how do they ensure that there is an organizational fit, especially for millennials. It's very, very important. Okay. I personally, and for our own company, we hire a lot of engineers and digital and product tech people for our Hotstar business. So we are competing there with Facebook, Google, Amazon, everybody, okay, and with Flipkart and other companies in the country. And then there is creative people where we are, competing with other media company. But the problem, so in case of engineers, there are lots of engineers, but finding a good quality engineer and competing for that engineer with the bigger digital players and all the digital companies is the challenge. So I'll take that in multiple way, how we are kind of trying to attack this problem. So for the Hotstar team, we have actually just created a very different recruitment engine. Okay, there's a separate team which is focused on building the Hotstar brand, looking at people and getting them in, and there we give them Disney stocks for the engineers, all of that. At a company level, we have looked at our compensation and benefit in a very different way. So when it comes to our benefit programs, we are one of the best, I would say, in the country. We were the first one to go and do 6 + 6 month, 12 month of maternity leave in 2016. Our insurance plans are extremely, extremely rich and supportive of the employee. Most companies have an upper cap on life insurance. We have a lower cap on life insurance. That minimum an employee will get an X amount. Okay, so things like that. So we've really looked at. We have unlimited leave policy. We have looked at our whole LGBTQ plus community and covered them for everything, including gender assignment surgery, all of that. Okay, so that has been also one area where we've really built for us to be able to attract people. Our jobs have been designed to ensure that people feel enriched. Okay, the fact that Hotstar is seen as an Indian app developed completely by India, going global, also helps us get people in our star. When it comes to creative talent, we have actually taken that as that we are the market leader. We are the largest broadcasting company, and I would say media and entertainment in terms of size and scale in the country. So we've taken it seriously as our responsibility to expand the creative talent pool. So in 2009, when I joined, it was like really difficult to hire creative talent. The same talent was just moving around from one TV channel to another TV channel. And that's the year when we launched something called our Creative Interns program, which has been copied by every other company in the media space. Where we went to smaller towns, we went to Bihar, Patna, Varanasi, Indore, Shantiniketan, all the, for languages in South, and for Marathi to Nagpur and Mumbai. And we started getting 10 to 12 interns from these places. There we actually went with a proposition to say, anybody, whether you're doing engineering, you're doing science, you're doing arts, you're doing English, whatever, if you have a passion for telling story, come and join us. And every year we get 10 to 12 people, we train them, and that has created a very strong pool for us. Okay. Similarly for managerial talent. So as a company, we actually, in 2009-10, we decided that we are not going to hire only from media. And actually, if I look at my VP and above population, almost 80% are non-media people, because we took it as our responsibility to bring talent from other industry into this industry. And that's been again copied by most of the companies, because what we saw is that people who came from, otherwise, when I joined in 2009, and we were the first lot of people who joined from outside of industry, we would always be told, oh, this doesn't work in media. You don't understand media. Star has a different way of working. You don't understand. And now we get so many new people, and we came in, we asked a lot of questions. So one of the things which we always look at is that when new people come from different industry, they question us, they push us, they bring new ideas and stuff. So that has helped. So at the leadership level and all levels, we've got a lot of people from outside of the industry. So we've expanded our talent pool. The third thing we did was, so we managed the creative interns for creative. We have a strong management training hiring program for all the managerial roles in every function, including a legal training program. So we have a lot of people who are joining us. Almost every year, 40, 50 people join us as the management trainees. And then they are kind of fueling the mid-management over the last 10 years. Similarly, when I look at writers, in our industry, there's a huge dearth of writing talent. And what we did was we just went and hired a Hollywood writer, and we brought him here. And 3 years he's done a writers academy for us. We run it like an education program. He's the dean of the program. And again, we threw it open to the whole world. So, and there are thousands and thousands of applications we got. We again said, you have passion to write, come and join us. Okay, and we'll train you how to write. And when these people came in, in the first batch, I had a person who was 55-year-old. He was working in a very large multinational company in a finance role, and he quit his job to join this program. I had a 22-year young girl who had just kind of passed out of the college, and she wanted to. So there was a very diverse set of people who came and joined, and that program has again given us a lot of success. So I think as an organization, we have taken this that we will build talent, we will go and ensure that we get our people. We shape the people, we kind of create this thing, and we also are looking at, and now when it comes to after COVID, when everybody is looking for flexibility, we have actually gone and said that we will work with hybrid model. So we'll have very few people who will be on site all days, only the critical people. Most of our employee base will be hybrid, so anywhere between 1 day to 4 day, largely more on an average 3 days. And all our software engineers largely are going to be based remote. So they can work from anywhere within the country. And that is helping us get a lot of, candidates applying to us. So there's been a lot of things we have done, a lot of data and analytics and stuff, and also using of the, a high-tech system for recruiting. So it's really the core. If you don't have the talent, then you cannot have a business, okay? And Star is known for its talent. We are fueling, and we are so many of our people are actually now running the largest of the digital businesses in the country. So as a company, we are a talent powerhouse, and I think I think things have worked well when it comes to TA. And our strategy is both inorganic and organic. Grow talent for yourself and hire from all industry. We always tell people that what we are looking for is the person and their skill set and their not even skill set, their attitude and what the passion. We can teach M&E to everybody. We can teach how to work in television. We can teach our company and our industry, but we want the right person to come in.
Sure, Amita. And those were some great insights. In fact, some wonderful recruitment stories that you have shared with us today. So recruitment, like you said, you have been quite experimental in this area, and it has paid well, of course. So while you're, doing all these things, I'm sure that recruitment is one part of the entire employee life cycle. The biggest version comes when it comes to the engagement, retention, and the experience part of it. So how do you looking at the employee engagement strategy, and what has changed in all these years?
So from the very beginning, we have been, so STAR is seen as a tough organization, but it's also seen as an organization which is extremely employee-centric. So if we know that if something happens to an employee or their family members, we go berserk, we go crazy in supporting. I have some crazy stories about how we have airlifted employees in the middle of the night using Indian government army's helicopters when they had a sickness, so things like that. So we go, so that way as an organization, we are very demanding. We are seem to be tough, but we are very soft in our heart. Okay, our leadership team is really committed to ensure that everybody is well taken care of. So when COVID hit, the kind of work we did, me and my team and all the leadership team, all other functions, whether it was administration, whether it was everybody just came together, and we were available 24/7 for not just for our employees, for their family members, for their friends. I've also had our vendor partners reaching out to us saying, "Can you help? One of my employees looking for oxygen somewhere, and can you help?" So we've just gone. We didn't say whether you're my employee or not. Anybody needing help, we will be there. So I think that has, so we already had a very strong, across all earlier with Fox or whether it's Disney, our engagement scores have always been at the top end. Okay, and the things which we do for whether it's all our benefit plan, whether it's all our engagement activities, all of that is designed to make the employee and their families well-being being the most important. Okay. Similarly, when we, as I said, 2016 is when we came up with this a new benefit program called Family Comes First, and we completely reimagined the whole benefit program. We started looking at changing our leave policy around 5-6 years back, and when we looked at, and every time we'd go and do global benchmarking, and we looked at that and we said, why do we need to even measure leave? Everybody. So the way we look at is, the one philosophy with which we manage our organization and our employees, that we will trust our employees 200%, and we'll give them full autonomy, but we will hold them accountable. Okay, so it's extremely important that when you get the autonomy, you also take the responsibility. Okay, and be held accountable. So through that when we looked at, so we completely went and said we'll have unlimited leave policy. Okay, today after COVID, when we are seeing people are not ready, they want flexibility, we have gone ahead and declared saying we will be flexible, we will be hybrid. So some of those, all of that, whether it's our daycare facility, our paternity leaves, maternity leaves, our financial support towards development of their own self or their children, there are different affinity groups. All of that has really helped us in our employee engagement. We've also have an app called Unmind, which helps employees support them on their mental well-being, and that app can be used by the family members. We're also looking at right now evaluating some recharge days and stuff where we during the whole pandemic time, we did lots of stuff, lot of engagement activities, every wellness days or no email days. All of that was done so that people are able to take some time off and focus on themselves and focus on getting, because people were sitting at home, it was doing the full-time work. And, we had, it was one thing where a lot of companies had to slow down or close down, but we had to scale up during COVID time. So our employees actually had to work much more because expectation from our clients and consumer was more entertainment because they were sitting at home. So they wanted more and more. So our people had to really work. And for some time, and when the production was not happening, figure out where and how we can repurpose the old content or create new content sitting from home or with, creating bubbles. So like, for example, we created the largest bubble for sports for IPL. 700 of our people worked for 3 months in the bubble and did not go home and did not meet their family. And we had to take care of their not just physical well-being, but mental well-being during that time. So as an organization, we have been very, very focused about, taking care of our people, providing them. And our engagement is also because of the jobs you get to do, not just how company takes care of. The quality of job is very important. If you're not satisfied and happy, and if you're not stressed with your job, the person will not be engaged. And as an organization, we believe in providing a lot of freedom and space. I always tell people that when you join Star, you get a clean slate and you can really design and plan and design your picture. You can decide how you want to create a picture, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. And so we are very focused on also looking at the job and what's the quality of job. And that's something which really helps our people because they know that, this is a place where they can come and innovate. This is a place where they can come with disruptive ideas. We always say that, if you have an idea, if you have an innovative or disruptive idea, there will be never a dearth of resources. The company will provide all the resources for you to implement that idea. So all of that really helps in engagement.
And this has absolutely been an engaging conversation, but in the benefit of time, as we come to the concluding part of it, before we, say the final thank yous to you, we would like you to share some insights about your D&I agenda.
So see, last 2 years, we have taken D&I as one of the really core focus of our agenda starting with to make it a part of our performance metric. So everybody's bonuses are dependent. 20% of our other performance factor, and a part of it is basis D&I metric. And we have very clear metrics on that in terms of number of people we hire, what we do for LGBTQ plus community, all of that. And we have looked at D&I is not just something which we as an organization will do, but how will we get all our employees together? And for that, the first thing which we did was we need to, all of us live with and work with and come with our own unconscious biases, okay? About caste, about religion, about states, about language, about college you have come from. Someone has come from IITs and big colleges, and someone has studied in a government college. So people have a lot of these unconscious biases. So the first thing we did was that we did this training to identify unconscious biases, and 100% of our people went through that training. And we also did a lot of training with the mid and senior management to understand and the importance of inclusion and importance of equity and diversity, and how to really be conscious about it when they're leading teams and when they're leading the business. We also really encourage our people to call out if they see someone being non-diverse, they see someone making a non-inclusive comment, call that out. So that was the first, because we had to create an environment and a space for people to feel that yes, we are now ready. And once we did that, there was a lot of buzz about it. There's a lot of discussion started happening, and then we went and launched. In India especially, we launched 3 burgs. We have business employee resource groups. So one was for gender, one was pride, which was for LGBTQ plus community, and one is for mental wellness. And all of that, we have anywhere between 300 to 400 employees part of these burgs, and they all come together and they're driving their own projects. As an organization, we've done a lot of things. So for LGBTQ plus, we have taken the whole suite of benefit and rolled that out. We were one of the first companies actually to do that 3-4 years back. But recently we have again, enriched it more. Similarly, we are really, for women, we have a program called Next, women leadership program for our top performing. So every year we're taking 40 to 50 women employees at mid and senior level, and we are training them to become our next level leaders. For us, our content is really the biggest thing. We inspire billion imaginations through the story we tell, and we are a storytelling company. So for us, that is very, very important, that what kind of stories we are doing. And if you see, a lot of our stories have a lot of women-centric, characters, and a lot of learnings for people, a lot of messaging. And we've actually trained all our content team through a Story Matters workshop for them to get sensitized about the D&I impact, and D&I imperatives. So those are the things which we have done. We have multiple high impact projects being done by volunteers, employees in the 3 areas of works which we have for gender, for LGBTQ+. And the result of it is the way I look at is, one, when I look at my work of Pride work, it just created an environment where people felt comfortable to come and talk. So we had 6 of our employees actually came out and talked about their stories with the whole organization. We also we have a very interesting thing. We actually get our employees, we pick employees who have interesting story, and we ask them to share their stories to the whole company. And we've had our people coming out and talking to everybody when they had not even, before that, they not even come out with their family. So they felt that they felt the comfort that they can talk about their own challenges and what they are going through. Similarly, when I look at gender work and stuff which we are doing, and it's an interesting story which I keep telling a lot of people, that one of my senior level person, he actually came and he thanked me like 10 times for all the training we did and all the discussion we are doing on diversity and inclusion. He said, I used to be very different with women in my family and with my daughter and my wife or my friends. I would look at them different. I would say they're different, they're inferior. And he said, like, I have really started looking at my words, my behavior have changed substantially towards them. That one of his daughter actually kind of commented saying that, Dad, you've really changed, and I think company has done a great job about changing you for better when it comes to dealing with women. And I think that those are the victory, because when we are looking at our work, we don't look at, because as an organization, we go to the whole world, we go to the whole country, and we change, we inspire imagination. So we want to do that with our employees also. So when we are talking about D&I, we're not only talking about your behavior, our behavior within the company. We're saying, when you go out to the society, when you go out to your family and friends, you change the way the way we were doing things. And then our biases is not just only around the organization, but also in our family and in society. So we are really looking at, and I think that's been a big excitement and work. And our leadership is really committed, and there's lots of work happening in the D&I area.
Thank you, Amita. This has been an engaging and an endearing conversation. And thank you for sharing so many success stories, the best practices, and so much of practical insights at this forum today. I'm sure the listeners will have a lot of takeaways and, what you call as the programs and policies that they can maybe modify at their workplaces to become better. And more importantly, become better being at human resource management, become better being human, actually. So thank you. It was indeed a great pleasure having you today at this conversation, and a greater pleasure to host you today with us at ETHR We Talk Talent Series. Thank you so much, Amita, for your time.
Thank you, Preksha, and thank you, Karishma.